Roman Reigns' title reign ends. Who was Paul Heyman talking to on WWE SmackDown? Current WWE superstar sends a cryptic message after Edge's last match. Triple H's new favorite being pushed like Roman Reigns. Bray Wyatt spotted interacting with a fan. LA Knight wins a championship. One half of the Usos gets a new job outside WWE. Let's jump right into it. Who was Paul Heyman talking to on WWE SmackDown? Paul Heyman was a witness to the events on WWE SmackDown on August 11, 2023. The wise man saw Jey Uso take down Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. He was at ringside when the former member of the Bloodline superkicked his twin brother before quitting WWE. Heyman was asked to comment on the situation with the Bloodline on SmackDown this week. Instead of giving a straightforward answer, a stricken and distraught Heyman took the opportunity to criticize LA Knight during his backstage segment with Kayla Braxton. Then, all of a sudden, his phone rang and he immediately lost his voice. At the time of the writing, we do not know who Heyman spoke to on the phone, but the person did make him nervous. Having said that, here are 4 possible names the wise man could have been on the phone with on WWE SmackDown. Number 1. Roman Reigns could have been on the phone with Paul Heyman. There's no disputing that Paul Heyman keeps Roman Reigns updated on the blue brand in his absence. He's been in the champion's ear since forming an alliance with him nearly 3 years ago on Friday Night SmackDown. Heyman noted that his anonymous source told him that Jimmy Uso will be on SmackDown next week. The person on the phone could have been none other than Roman Reigns. After all, Heyman did say it was a spoiler, the catchphrase both he and Reigns share. Number 2. Solo Sikoa called the wise man on the phone. Solo Sikoa rarely speaks, but when he does, everybody listen. The enforcer of the Bloodline has been under the wise man's tutelage ever since making his main roster debut at Clash at the Castle 2022. With that said, he appears to have outgrown Heyman's influence. The former NXT North American champion is the only one apart from Roman Reigns who can scare the life out of Heyman. It is possible Solo could have called Heyman to inform him that his brother Jimmy will be on SmackDown next Friday. Number 3. The phone call could have foreshadowed Rikishi's return. Rikishi hasn't appeared in flesh on SmackDown ever since the Bloodline saga began 3 years. However, he has continued to be a part of the storyline through social media. WWE previously used him in their video package for the Tribal Chief's first feud with Jey Uso in 2020. We do know that the person who called Paul Heyman told him that Jimmy Uso will return to the blue brand next Friday. It is possible the person on the other side of line could have been Rikishi, setting up an angle for his return ahead of his rumored involvement at WWE Payback 2023. Number 4. Trinity Fatu could have informed Heyman about her husband's return. Trinity Fatu, aka Naomi, became a part of the Inoue family through her marriage to Jimmy Uso. The former WWE star has previously expressed her desire to become a part of the Bloodline storyline. The company never capitalized on that, and she ended up leaving the promotion in 2022. The 35-year-old star recently took a subtle jab at Jey Uso for quitting WWE. Given her relationship with Jimmy, she could have been the one to inform Paul Heyman about her husband's return to WWE SmackDown next Friday. Kayla Braxton breaks silence after Paul Heyman took shots at her personal life on SmackDown. WWE presenter Kayla Braxton finally broke the silence on her controversial backstage interview with Paul Heyman on SmackDown. Roman Reigns' Wiseman was the only member of the Bloodline to appear on the blue brand this week. Kayla Braxton caught up with him backstage, hoping to address the rumors surrounding Roman Reigns, the Bloodline, and Jey Uso's actions last week. However, Heyman fired back at Kayla by listing other topics where he could give his opinion. These included Edge's rumored last match on SmackDown and Austin Theory's win over LA Knight, whom he mocked. Heyman made things personal with Kayla by saying they could talk about rumors surrounding her family instead of Roman's. He asked if the presenter would like to talk about her mother or spending daddy-daughter time with her father. Kayla Braxton grew up in a foster home and has revealed details of her childhood while rallying behind a woman's right to choose. Thus, Heyman bringing up her mother and rumors surrounding her was a ruthless dig at her personal life. A fan took to social media to credit Kayla Braxton for staying professional during the interview, which prompted her to break the silence. She said she took it upon herself to maintain class and professionalism during the interview. Thanks, Matt. At least one of us in that interview knows the meaning of professionalism and class, wrote Kayla Braxton in her response to the fan. WWE fans love the chemistry between Kayla Braxton and Paul Heyman, as they often clash backstage on SmackDown. The WWE Universe was stunned by Heyman's response to Kayla's questions and demanded they host a talk show together. The Wiseman also poked fun at LA Knight during the mentioned interview after his loss against Austin Theory in the No One Contenders match for the United States Championship. He described Knight as this wannabe, this flash in the pan, this soon-to-be yesterday's news, before mockingly repeating his catchphrase in a similar vein to the Miza's criticisms of Knight on commentary during the aforementioned match. WWE fans took it as Heyman acknowledging LA Knight. Before leaving, Heyman also confirmed that Jimmy Uso will return on WWE SmackDown next week. Current WWE superstar sends a cryptic message after Edge's last match. On this week's episode of WWE SmackDown, Edge reportedly competed in his last match against Sheamus. Taking to Twitter, a Celtic Warrior sent out a cryptic tweet. Edge agreed to face Sheamus on last week's show after it was revealed that the Celtic Warrior helped him get back into the ring after being sidelined for 9 years. Following Edge's win over Sheamus on SmackDown, the latter took to Twitter to send out a cryptic tweet, invoking the lyrics of a famous song by Irish folk group the Clancy Brothers titled "The Parting Glass." The song typically represents a meaningful goodbye to a departing friend. He also shared an emotional clip of the two men hugging out in the ring after their match. "Of all the comrades that year I had, they are sorry for my going away. But since it falls unto my lot, that I should rise and you should not. I'll gently rise and I'll softly call. Good night and joy be with you all," wrote Sheamus. This week's SmackDown reportedly marked Edge's last match in WWE, as his current contract with the company is set to expire. Speaking on Sportskeeda Wrestling's latest edition of Smack Talk, Dutch Mantel spoke about the match between Edge and Sheamus. He stated that both men delivered after a great build-up. Mantel said, "Great build-up. They delivered what they promised. If it was his last match, great send-off. I think him and Sheamus turned in a very controlled match. The people were totally on top of it. Great shots of a wife and kids. You could feel it in the air. What a way to go out. The only thing I would have added to it is when it was finished, I would have sent the wife and kids in the ring with him and hugged him. That would make it a tearful, emotional moment. They didn't need it, but it would have been a nice little touch. It now remains to be seen what plans Edge has in store ahead of himself and if he ever steps foot in a WWE ring." Triple H's new favorite being pushed like Roman Reigns. WWE's creative team and on-screen product took a massive turn when Triple H became the company's chief content officer. However, fans have often criticized one particular aspect of Hunter's booking, and that is the former United States champion Austin Theory and his current run on the main roster. Last week, Austin Theory lost the United States Championship after over 250 days as the champion on the main roster. The loss came out of nowhere as Rey Mysterio won the title after he replaced Santos Escobar, who was injured by Theory during the show. On the latest episode of SmackDown, fans once again questioned Triple H's booking decision regarding A-Town. Last night, Austin Theory defeated LA Knight to become the new #1 contender for Rey Mysterio's United States Championship after The Miz interfered and distracted Knight. This win came only a week after losing the title, and fans were gutted that the company once again prioritized the former US champion instead of giving LA Knight a shot at the title. After Triple H arrived with his new regime in WWE, Austin Theory became the longest reigning United States champion of the modern era. A-Town went on to beat several names in the process, only to drop the title to Rey Mysterio. The WWE Universe has often questioned Triple H's booking of Austin Theory and claims that Hunter has been burying him. Speaking on the Babyfaces podcast, Theory addressed these rumors and spoke about the game. "We all know on the internet it's tomorrow you can be the greatest thing in the world and the next day you could suck. You know, I remember a time that the internet said, 'Man, this guy, he's getting buried. He loses every match. When's the last time I lost a match?' And people still have something to say now. So to me, as long as there's something said, I'm doing what I need to do. But if there's nothing being said, then there's a worry there because people say your name for a reason, whether it's good or bad," he said. Triple H has previously stated that they have long-term plans for the superstars on the main roster, and Theory might well be a part of those plans. What are your thoughts on Austin Theory going after the WWE United States Championship once again? Sound off in the comments section below. Bray Wyatt spotted interacting with a fan. Bray Wyatt has been away from WWE for a while, and there has been a great deal of speculation surrounding his absence from the company. Rumors have ranged from him being severely ill to creative not having anything for him. While nothing can be said for certain, a video has emerged showing Wyatt signing a belt for a fan outside what seems to be an airport. The video was originally posted on TikTok by user at Kington9434 yesterday, with Phoenix tagged as the location. It has since been posted on Twitter, where fans have already begun speculating. Fans are still not certain if the video is recent or not, but the clip cannot be found elsewhere, which suggests that it might be recent. Wyatt looks visibly healthy and seems to be traveling, given that the video was taken outside an airport. Again, nothing can be said conclusively regarding the video. Following WrestleMania 37, Bray took a hiatus from the company and was shortly thereafter released from his contract. For over a year, Wyatt remained away from the ring, sparking rumors of signing with AEW and Hollywood. However, last summer, WBE started dropping hints regarding Bray Wyatt's return, which was eventually materialized at Extreme Rules 2022. Following his return, the Eater of Worlds introduced a new character, Uncle Howdy, who would appear during his matches and segments, often sabotaging both Wyatt and his opponents. The former WWE champion was only able to complete one feud before disappearing from TV. His rivalry with LA Knight saw him come out on top and then challenge Bobby Lashley. The program with the Almighty was unexpectedly dropped. It remains to be seen when or if Bray Wyatt will return to WWE. Till then, we can only hope for the best for the former world champion. LA Knight wins a championship. WWE Hall of Famer Booker T believes only one superstar can dethrone the Intercontinental Champion Gunther. The ring general made his main roster debut on SmackDown in April 2022. Nearly 2 months later, he defeated Ricochet to capture the Intercontinental Championship. He has since defended the title against several top superstars, including Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, and Braun Strowman. The 35-year-old recently surpassed 430 days as Intercontinental Champion. Speaking on the Hall of Fame podcast, Booker T addressed who could be Gunther's next opponent after Chad Gable. He suggested LA Knight. LA Knight. He's the guy that definitely could step into that spot and you can, get behind him. And then, of course, with Gunther, that dude, you're gonna hate him. That's made in heaven, you know what I mean. But that's the one guy I see right now that got the spark behind him and seal behind him to actually step into that spot, he said. LA Knight has said he doesn't need a championship to validate his run, but a championship would definitely help boost his run to the next level. I'm not booking anything. I'm just saying if there was a guy, that would be the guy. That's it. Since reverting to his LA Knight persona after a few months of playing Max Dupree on SmackDown, the 40-year-old has become one of the most popular superstars in WWE. However, he is yet to receive the push that fans are expecting. As history has seen superstars get extremely popular before quickly losing their hype, Booker T's suggestion for LA Knight seems logical because the company has to capitalize on the SmackDown star's current momentum and push him to the next level. Although LA Knight being on the blue brand while Gunther is one Raw could seem like a problem for Booker T's suggestion to happen. But it's not a problem since the company had already booked the leader of the movement against Raw star The Miz recently. Hence, he could later appear on Raw and SmackDown and go after the ring general when he finishes his feud with The Miz. Ending Gunther's historic reign would definitely establish Knight as a top WWE superstar. One half of the Usos gets a new job outside WWE. Wrestling veteran Jim Cornette recently urged a former Bloodline member to learn a trade and start a small business outside of WWE. The Bloodline storyline has taken multiple turns over the past few months. After Sami Zayn turned on Roman Reigns and left the group last January, Jimmy Uso followed in his footsteps at Night of Champions. Jey Uso later sided with his brother as they defeated the Tribal Chief and Solo Sikoa in a tag team match at Money in the Bank, with Jey pinning Roman Reigns for the first time in 3 years. At SummerSlam, Jey challenged Reigns for his undisputed WWE Universal title and Tribal Chief status in a Tribal Combat match. Fingertips away from a win, he lost the bout after getting betrayed by his twin brother Jimmy. Last week, Jey took out Reigns, Sikoa, and Jimmy on SmackDown before announcing he was quitting WWE. While reviewing that episode on his podcast, The Jim Cornette Experience, the outspoken ex-booker addressed Jimmy's situation in the storyline. He jokingly urged the former tag team champion to learn a trade and start a small business after putting himself in a bad place. You know, if he needs a new job, a new line of work, needs to learn a trade, start a small business, something like that. Jimmy Uso. I think he's gone and put himself in a bad place. He's figured out of the bloodline. He's not figured in with his brother anymore. Who knows what the f is gonna happen? I think he needs to open a small business, he said. Jim Cornette is probably joking and Jimmy Uso does not have to find a new job. However, WBE fans may wonder what is next for Jimmy Uso's character in the Stanford-based company. It is almost guaranteed that the former bloodline member will feud with his twin brother if Jey returns to the company, leading to a one-on-one brother versus brother match. However, it is not clear what Jimmy's path ahead would be following that storyline. While many have expressed their desire to see Jey get a solo run, Jimmy could also have a run as a singles competitor. Like the Hardy Boys, the two brothers could win themselves some singles gold before reuniting later on in their careers. As for now, fans will have to wait and see how Jimmy's role in the Bloodline storyline evolves after getting on the wrong side of Roman Reigns and Jey. Last night, it was announced on SmackDown that Jimmy would be on the show next Friday. Roman Reigns' title reign ends. Undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns is the longest reigning world title holder of the last 35 years. In April, the Tribal Chief defeated Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 39 to continue his historic title reign. WWE recently sent Rhodes to the location of WrestleMania 40, Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, prompting speculation about how the event might end. The build-up to WrestleMania 39 revolved around Rhodes aiming to become the first member of his family to win a WWE World title. The American Nightmare was widely expected to beat Reigns at Sophie Stadium in Inglewood, California. However, he ultimately came up short due to interference from the Bloodline. WWE posted a YouTube video showing Rhodes' visit to the WrestleMania 40 stadium. Based on the reaction in the comments section, fans are sure that the Raw star will finish the story by dethroning Reigns next year. One person noted how Rhodes was standing upon the sacred ground where he will replace Reigns as the face of the company. Another speculated that the video upload is a clear sign that WrestleMania 40 will end with Rhodes finally beating his WrestleMania 39 opponent. The messages of support support continued for Rhodes, with one fan comparing his storyline arc to Rocky Balboa. WrestleMania 40 will take place on April 6 to 7, 2024. If Reigns is still the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, by then he will likely defend his title in a show-closing match on April 7. The head of the table has headlined the second night of WrestleMania for the last 3 years. The video showed Cody Rhodes visiting several media outlets in Philadelphia before making his way to Lincoln Financial Field. The former Intercontinental Champion did not comment on Roman Reigns or any other opponents. However, he did mention that WrestleMania 40 has the potential to be one of the biggest events in history. "It's actually the first look I've got up close," Rhodes said. "I've never been here before, whereas last year I'd been to Sophie once before. It's big. It aims to be the best WrestleMania ever, so perfect spot." On August 5, Reigns and Rhodes both recorded big victories at SummerSlam. The Tribal Chief retained his title against Jey Uso in the main event, while the American Nightmare defeated Brock Lesnar. Do you think Cody Rhodes should dethrone Roman Reigns? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me